Good morning to all of you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Let me have my book right there.
Wow.
Book right there.
Perfect, Sean.
I'm telling you, man.
Let me ask you a question. Does truth matter?
Yeah.
How many here are married? What about if your old lady told you this morning, I marry you because I felt sorry for you.
Core of my life.
But it's telling the truth, right? That hurts, eh? Now, truth doesn't matter. In May the 4th, 1970, it was a historical pivotal point. I was in the Corps. I was in boot camp during that day, May the 10th, 1970. But that day changed our whole perspective of what's going on today. Because of what happened that day, the draft ended in 1970. I was about to be drafted, and I didn't want to get drafted because I would have to go into the Army. Have you seen the Army uniforms? If you're in the Army, you know what I'm talking about. So I wanted to have Marine Corps. So I went in. But something happened that day. It's called the Kent University shootings. Now, you probably heard this song by Crosby, Still, Nash and Young. It says 10, T-I-N, 10 soldiers in Nixon coming. We're finally on our own. This summer I hear the summer. This summer I hear the drumming. 4 dead in Ohio. It should have been done long ago. Soldiers are cutting us down. What if you've seen her lying there on the ground? How can you run when you know? What happened there? What happened in this shooting 50 years ago, 51 years ago? And the reason I'm bringing it up, because this is the editor of the Beacon Journal of Akron, Ohio. They were there on the ground. They had students and journalist students. All the photographs, the famous iconic photographs of that shooting. How many remember that shooting? Ever remember that shooting? And all the iconic shootings, in 13 seconds, there was a fusillade, 13 seconds, 61 rounds. This is our National Guard, Americans killing Americans on campus. Unbelievable. They had light rounds. And there were witnesses, the photographers, they were all working for the Akron, Ohio Journal. All of them. They had been following this episode for weeks. They knew it was fomenting. Something was happening, but they weren't expecting this tragedy. In 13 seconds, they took pictures of everything. There's the iconic picture that came on Life magazine. A young girl, she's 14 years old, her name is Marianne Vecchio. And she's leaning over the body of one named Jeffrey Miller, and she's looking so distraught in that picture. And that changed everything. The Vietnam War, we stopped believing in our country. We realized the Vietnam War was not what it was supposed to be. We had ill information, we had misinformation, we had propaganda. And so what happened in this shooting? Everybody in Beacon Journal, they were saying, this is negligence. The National Guard, the general, Brigadier General, should have had something irresponsible. But the machine started working. Nixon, his administration, all the National Guard, basically they began to bring talking points, trying to spin the story. And they were saying that a sniper was shooting. And the Beacon Journal had statistics, it had ballistic records, and they did scientific, it says it was not a sharpshooter, it was not a sniper. Well, the kids had guns, and the Beacon Journal said they didn't have any guns. All this to say to you that the Beacon Journal, they were vilified, they were strangled almost politically, because they were saying, you little newspaper, you guys don't know squat. But the problem is there were too many witnesses who saw the truth. Eventually, the Beacon Journal was absolved, and they realized they were right all the time. They were vindicated. Not only vindicated, but they got a Pulitzer Prize for their work. Small rinky-dink, little newspaper, but they stood their ground. And they wrote books and they wrote articles, and there was so many stuff that was not real. And I'm telling you, the truth is very, very important. Truth does matter. Robert Giles, he was a young editor of a Beacon Journal. Finally, he wrote the book, and he finally said, this is exactly what happened. The National Guard was at fault. They went to court, and the government admitted that it was murder. But nobody paid any crime for it. It's a horrible situation. And I'm telling you now that it's very important for us to know the truth. And that's my subject this morning to you.
Truth will set you
Why
free.
truth matters. Look at me, look at me. Look at Jeremiah chapter 5 with me. Jeremiah chapter 5.
In John